So it's a disturbing parable. It's a disturbing story of this rich man who had his life all focused on the food that he would eat, the things that he would buy. He was focused on himself. Have you ever had that experience? You know, I always talk about food because I love food, but have you ever sort of like, there's that experience of, do you live to eat or do you eat to live? And sometimes maybe we sort of plan out our whole day and everything is about, well, what am I going to eat next? You know, and that can be okay to a certain degree, but here is where it goes too far. Because he's focused on himself. He's focused on the wonderful things that he's going to do. And do you see what his sin is here? Is he doesn't make room for anyone else. Because he's so focused on the good things that he has, he doesn't realize there's someone right at his door who's suffering, who's hurting. And you know the thing that's disturbing about this story is this rich man knows Lazarus' name. He's not a stranger. He's not someone that you just, walk by and you have no idea who they are. He knew this person. He knew his name. And he did nothing. It's really important for us to always ask the Lord to show us our heart. This is one of the reasons why we do examines of conscience, where we look within our heart, and an examination of conscience is not merely just looking at like the laundry list sort of thing. Well, I did this, I didn't do this, I did this, I didn't do this, but it's spending time in God's presence. First of all, seeing the way that he's blessing me, the way that I can be thankful, the way that he is so good to me as a father. But then what I do is in that love, I then allow him to lead me through my day. Kind of like if you imagine Jesus coming and saying, let's go to the movies and let's watch your day. And maybe you're sitting there, you have your popcorn there, he's sitting right next to you, and you're watching your day. And maybe there's moments, you know how there's different soundtrack moments where there's really happy moments there, but maybe there's other music that starts coming in that makes you start maybe thinking about maybe some of your decisions, maybe some of your thoughts, maybe some of your intentions, and maybe even things that you didn't necessarily do, but it's kind of like in the heart. Maybe you didn't say that unkind thing, but maybe your heart was resentful towards someone. And as we sit with the Lord, he doesn't accuse us, but he holds us close in love, and he helps us to see who we were today. Not to push us down, but to say, this is an area where you need me to help your heart to grow. The rich man wasn't open to that. The rich man didn't want to go to the movies with Jesus. He wanted to hear his own story the way that he told it. And it's so easy to be able to rationalize, to be able to say, I've done nothing wrong. I didn't blow up anything. I'm not the Joker or anything like that. And yet if we really sit with the Lord in a very kind way, each day, going to the movies with Jesus, going to the story, your story, because you'll ultimately see that he looks at you with great love. And he'll be able to help you through any moment. But we have to be open to allow him to show us our heart, so that we can grow, and we can grow to finally find the peace that the Lord wants to give us. And again, the rich man, sadly, he wasn't open to that. And because of that, he didn't, his heart more and more, as he didn't realize that all of these gifts that he had, all of this wealth, all of these things were gifts from God. But because he was focused on just telling himself his own story, he couldn't have eyes to see Lazarus, who he knew by name, and just walked over him. You can even just picture him at the door, asking for help. And Lazarus, he's got his phone, he's just kind of, doing his texts, he's doing all these different things, he's eating, he's thinking about all the things he's going to do, and he just doesn't see Lazarus, but he just kind of steps over him. Do we ever do that maybe with one another? We might not necessarily have someone physically pour at our door, but maybe there's a classmate who maybe needs that warmth of friendship. We can sometimes be very cold to one another. And a lot of times it's because we're focused on ourselves and how people will look at us, how we will feel. And yet the Lord is saying, step out of the comfort zone and look around and see who is in need this day. And it'll change. There'll be times in which it might be the person right next to you that maybe is going through a difficult time. And when you start getting out of yourself, you start recognizing it. You start getting like a radar in your mind to say, I need to reach out with an encouraging word. I need to spend time, even if I'd maybe be more comfortable, playing this game that I always play before, but maybe the Lord today is calling me to just say, I'm going to just do that later because there's someone that needs me right now. Maybe someone within your family. Maybe there's a sibling. Maybe a parent. Maybe a grandparent. Lazarus is all around us. And as probably all of us know, there are times in which we're Lazarus. And isn't it beautiful when someone has the eyes to see us hurting, reaches out, includes us in? We never forget that act of kindness. So I just encourage you, think about, how have you been Lazarus? How maybe has someone reached out to you? And how will you be not the rich man, but a man or woman with eyes open to those who are in need right around you? And remember, the way that we open those eyes is each day making sure that we go to the movies with Jesus. It only takes 5 minutes. Could you do something like that at the end of the day? Maybe put away the phone for 5 minutes more and just sit with the Lord. Let him love you. Let him walk with you through the day and allow him to change your heart.